each other, getting to know one another, talking about issues that we're all facing, good, bad, indifferent. Let's talk about it from one sister to another. Let's talk about it.
Hey,
Sister friend.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Listen,
Happy birthday! We get to celebrate 2 months in a row.
right.
Every
Why
year.
not? That's what we do.
Hey.
I have to say, I had a blast at
Good.
your celebration. They did an excellent job.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, my nephews, yes, and all those who assisted him. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was wonderful. It was just great to see people, to laugh, and to see you
It
laugh and enjoy
was.
yourself. It was awesome, and you
I
look
might have to throw some pictures on
fabulous.
our webpage.
Yes, why not? Yes, for sure. And the
Yeah,
picture
I
you posted on
enjoyed
my
it.
birthday, that was my favorite picture of the night. I love it because we just had so much fun, and it showed. Yeah. So I'm excited.
My sister friends was there.
Yes. Surprise.
All
Listen.
of them. All of them.
It was hilarious because I was laughing that night we was on the show. And I was like, she had no idea I'm going to actually be showing up tomorrow.
None. That's why when you walked through the door, I was like, wait a minute, we were just on live last night in 2 different states. What in the world?
It's amazing what a flight can do.
Yeah, hello. And then fly right back.
Then fly right back. I said, God, I give you glory. I thank you that I was able to do
See,
it.
y'all, that's love right there.
I was like, I'm going to be there no matter what. We're going to work this out. So God be the glory. But that's what sister friends do, you know?
That
We
is.
work it out. We try to figure it out. You know, of course, there's sometimes we can't. We understand that. But at the same time, when we can, we can.
And you do what you can do.
Right. We have to do this stuff now because time is moving.
Hello.
And we don't know when the next time we're going to see each other, you know? So
We ain't as young as we used to be.
Girl,
These bodies don't move like they used to
Don't talk
move.
about it.
Do it while you can. Enjoy life.
That's right. That's
Enjoy
right.
life.
You're talking good. Well, we want to just jump right in and welcome everybody to the our sister friend Let's Talk About It podcast. Thank you so much for continuing with us on this series. We are super excited. This is some kind of topic here, y'all. We're not messing around with y'all. Listen, y'all know how we are. We're going to give you truth. We want, like we said from the very beginning, we want to get into those topics that are not being discussed, that we need to discuss. And we're continuing to talk about, right? The silent struggle in the sanctuary. But tonight we're going to deal with that hidden pain behind the public strength, you know, that those times when we know we're hurting, right? But we want to be strong. We want to appear strong. We got that mask on. And sometimes it's not even one that I really feel like sometimes it's not even how we may try to appear strong. It just appears like we're strong. And it's not that we're not strong, but at the same time, we need our sister friends. We need God first and foremost.
Hello. You know, it's the saying that I usually say, it is what it is, so we do what we have to do. But that doesn't mean that in the midst of doing what we have to do that we aren't falling apart while we're doing it. That we're not having struggles while we're doing it. And it's not just in the sanctuary. I mean, I know that's where we're coming from, but it's in the workplace, it's in the home, it's everywhere. And we do these things.
Right.
And it looks like we got it all together and we got it going on. And we fighting back tears, fighting back falling down. We just fighting. It's the real struggle. That's the real struggle.
Right. We want y'all to come on and chime in. Tell us what this topic means to you. Like, is this real talk tonight? How are you feel? What's your silent struggle? If you want to share, but we want you to go ahead and put in that, hey, I'm here, whatever, it's me, I'm online, I'm right here with you ladies on tonight. Put that in the chat, put it in the comment section. whether you're on YouTube, Facebook Live, or Stitch, wherever you are, just let us know that you're with us on tonight. And also where you're listening from. If you're in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, right, Maryland,
South Carolina,
DC,
Georgia,
right. Even those that
if
are
you
overseas,
overseas.
tell us where you're from. We want to hear from you. So thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it on tonight. We want to get right into our topic again. Like we said, we're talking about that silent struggle on tonight. And we dealt with that illness last time we were on, but this week we're going to deal with the pain behind the public strength. You know, it's no longer you can fake it till you make it. We can't be faking it till we make it, ladies. And
You fake it enough, you're gonna fall out.
Right. We have to know when to cry out for help. We got to know when to not just go to God, right? Because we need somebody. We need a human person, right, to support us. God sends people in our lives for a reason, and it's not for us to try to do this thing all by ourselves. So we want to jump in on a few things that my sister friend and I were talking about, and give you some scriptures to back it up. Because one of the things that we were even discussing even today is what we're going through, even as a country, right? As a society, as a world. That alone is pressure. That alone has been giving some people's anxiety and fears and different pressures in different areas, depending on where you live, depending on what's your economic or economic background, or even your religion, right?
Your race, all of it.
All that stuff, your beliefs, point blank, period. So something's coming up against you in one way or another. So we want to just let you know that we are here to support you and by just having these conversations and giving you that opportunity to share in your comments on tonight. So we want you definitely to share. We know we got you from New Jersey. Hey, New Jersey. New Jersey is definitely on the line always. Thank you, New Jersey, for showing up. Yes. We love Jersey. Yes. That's right. Born and bred. Jersey all the way. Yes, God. We thank you, Jersey. We want to first talk about the pressure to always appear strong, right? We always have this pressure kind of up against us and making us feel like we have to be strong for everything, Wanda. So what is that about?
And not only what is it about, where does it come from?
Where does it come
because
from?
Sometimes we put that pressure on ourselves. You know, nobody else is saying you got to be the strong one. Right. We're so used to carrying the load that we just continue to do it instead of, handing it off to somebody else. We just carry it.
Yeah.
So I think we feel that pressure all the time.
Too. Right. Yeah. So put that in the comments. Do you feel that pressure, to be strong? And if so, why? Why are you feeling that? Where's that pressure coming from? Like you said, where's it coming from? And why do you feel it? We have to be honest with ourselves. I think a lot of times my daughter and I was having a conversation similar to this last week, even that sometimes we feel pressure from family, right? Pressure from friends, pressure from society to, do certain things a certain way, or surround yourself around certain people. And it's not even what we feel in our heart, right? We need to go with what, our lane, stay in our lane, first of all, but also making sure that we have the right people around us. So yeah, that part.
I think sometimes we're so, not only do we get used to carrying that pressure, but people that are around us are used to us carrying that pressure. So they just give it to us because they're used to us doing it. Yeah. And it looks like we're doing it well. Right. When again, we holding on by a string.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, we believe in the grace of God. We know God gives us grace. His word tells us his grace is sufficient. We understand that. But also we have to realize that sometimes we're going through things and we look up like saying, God, how long? How long is this? When is this going to stop? How long is this struggle going to go on? But instead of God removing it, right? Just like Paul, he didn't remove it, but he reminds him that his grace is sufficient.
So
God don't always.
And his strength is made perfect in our weakness.
In our weakness. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So we feel that pressure, but that don't mean we have to put ourselves in a position where we have to be pressured all the time, or feel we have to do something just because. The
Or
word
how do you
no
know?
works good.
Right. And how do you know when to let go of that? Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost the same situation where people carry pain from the past because they don't know what it's like to be without it.
Yeah.
Right. So they continue to hold on to it instead of letting it go because they know what that feels like.
Right.
But they don't know how it feels to be free, to really be free.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Pressure we put on ourselves. That's good. That's so true. We do that. And we have to be able to learn how not to do that. Because God does not require us to be perfect.
At all.
That's us.
At all.
You ever hear somebody say, Wanda, I'm a perfectionist? I stopped saying that, and I stopped saying, because I know we like things a certain way. We get that. But we are not perfect.
No, not at all.
How can we be a perfectionist if we are not perfect? Now we strive for perfection, yes, but at the same time we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, and we can't. There's no way for us to be perfect. We will never be perfect.
And the thing about it is that word in the Bible, even though the word used is perfect, is really actually talking about maturing.
Right, maturity. That's
so every day we're maturing. We don't arrive. We have not arrived yet. Yeah. That's a continual process.
And you just brought up a good point. That's why it's important for us to go and study and look up the definition of what for that time and that the Hebrew, the Greek, whatever was going on. Know what the word means in that moment, because we can take that word perfect and we just apply it as we say it today. Oh, I'm perfect. Oh, he's perfect.
Right,
perfect.
right.
That's not what he's saying. Wow, we have a lot of work to do. So anybody feel feel like they can answer that question? Do you feel pressure to always appear strong? And if so, why? Feel free to drop that in the comment section, because we know that there's a lot of people that feel that way. So yeah.
One of the things I just thought about when you said that is, do we feel the pressure to be, quote, perfect or strong? Sometimes that is put on us because of your position, right? If you're a manager on your job, they expect you to at least be able to manage the people beneath you, right? So you got to be able to do that. So that's pressure that's put on you. And in the church, if you have any title, and the higher recognized your title is, and I hate to say it that way, but that's the pressure that people put on you, that you're supposed to act a certain way and you're supposed to do things a certain way. And it's like, everybody has a definition of, as we always heard growing up, you're supposed to be saved. Oh, so tell me, what do you know about that? Tell me if what I'm doing is not holy, tell me what you know about it.
Right. Tell me what you know about it.
And is it in the word?
Right.
You want to dictate to me what I'm supposed to be doing, but you don't have the job description.
Yeah. Wow. This is another question for what we're talking about tonight too. Just in terms of carrying this pressure, and what would change if we stopped believing we had to carry everything alone? That's a good question. Like, what would change? I would love somebody to answer that, because I feel like a lot would change. Boy, could you imagine the rest we would feel, the peace?
The peace.
Yeah, the rest we could get and the peace we would feel. Yeah,
girl,
that part.
And why do we feel that we have to carry it alone?
Yeah, right. Because we don't. We definitely do not.
That's what the whole purpose of having your sister friends or even family in some instances. You do not have to carry it alone, but we always put ourselves in that situation to feel like we do. Release of anxiety, absolutely.
Yep.
I don't have to be anxious about nothing when I got some help.
Right. And isn't that something? I feel like if we don't surrender to God, and I think we don't totally surrender, and that was one of our points that we have in our outline tonight, is talking about that in terms of that public strength. It should never ever replace honest surrender, pure surrender to God. And what I truly believe, if we totally surrender to God, we would not feel that pressure as we do. We would not feel as though we have to be perfect. We would not feel like, we didn't have anybody else around us to help us. We would not feel alone. But we have picked up this burden, picked this burden unnecessarily. It's really not our burden to carry. It wasn't laid at the feet of Jesus. Right. Every anxiety, every worry, every struggle, every pain, every illness, every sickness, every disease, every sin, laid at his feet.
And while you were talking, it came to me that, sometimes we feel this pressure to be, quote, perfect because there's so many things we want to hide. Yeah. So many imperfections that we're trying to hide, that we put on this persona. That's good. That we are this, strong person, when in actuality, and it's okay for us to be weak, especially, we were in a Bible study last week, and somebody was saying about, us being the weaker vessel. It's okay that we're the weaker vessel, but guess what? That also means that men are weak too, because we're weaker. Right. But they have to first be weak. Yes. So we all have flaws. We all have imperfections. We all have stuff that we need to get rid of or clean up or straighten out or whatever, right? Right. But we so busy trying to put on this public display that we're strong, instead of just going ahead and breaking down and crying. Look, if I had a pastor that used to say, you don't want the enemy to see you break down and lose it. But if you got to go in your bathroom, get you a towel, put it in your mouth and just scream. Listen. Go ahead and do it. Release that thing. Stop carrying it around.
Yes. And what's so awesome about this is that when we're weak, God is strong. When we're weak, God shows up. When we're weak, we know it's all God. When we're weak, nobody else can do it but him, So it's nothing wrong with, like you said, being the weaker. There's nothing wrong with being weak. Surrendering. God.
And I think people make the mistake sometimes where we think surrender is a bad thing, because you can surrender, when they think of it in terms of the police, you got to surrender surrender is a willful thing. It's not a forced thing.
Right. That's right. Surrender does not mean defeat. It's not a force.
That's right.
So we have to remember that. But that's we have a sisterhood. We have a village. And most importantly,
rely on the village.
Almighty. Right. Yeah.
It's amazing, Cal, because I remember when I was growing up, that village was really activated, right? You cut up over your friend's house, your parents got the call before you got home. Right. Not only that, whoever's house you were at, they were allowed to beat you. Right. Okay. Let me use this politically correct. They were allowed to discipline you. Yeah, we know what kind of discipline that was. Right. But today, you look at somebody's child wrong, they're ready to fight you. We're destroying our own village.
That's right. How about that? And, I think this is a good platform, too. I that's why I love this so much, and I wish we could do it more often, but, our schedules are already tight. But,
thank you.
Right. But it's such a good platform for people to be able to look, God give brightness. So that you see that? Yeah. And it's such a good platform because it gives opportunities for us as sisters to have this dialogue, to talk. We're all not in the same place at the same time, but we can share and we learn from each other. And that's why, Wanda and I always say, continue the conversation. Share with us. Share what you want. Post online. Put something in the comment in the chat. So you can do that. We need each other. It's not just about us.
Do.
We need each other. We need all of you.
Look, even the Bible says no man is an island.
Right. Hello.
Look, we can't do. That's why Eve was made, right? She was pulled out of Adam because he needed to help me.
Right. There's no need to suffer in silence. There's no need. There's no need to suffer in silence. I have someone that I really have become to care for dearly. She's a wonderful woman of God, and she is suffering in this moment. Even though she's a strong woman of God, she's a prayer warrior, all those things. But guess what? When it hits your home, it hits your home. And now that doesn't give the enemy any place. Don't get me wrong. That's not like you're giving it to the enemy. But at the same time, your flesh. That's why we have to beat this flesh into subjection. That's why we have to stay in prayer. That's why we have to constantly fast and pray, and not just when it's an emergency.
Right, right.
So, and that's part of, I think, this whole conversation, that's part of it. A lot of people struggle in silence because they're not staying on the wall, because they're not staying on their face, because they're not staying in their word, because they are taking breaks from services. I'm just saying. We just can't say, well, I'm not going to go to church because I don't feel like it. Or I'm not going to go. Well, I can stay home. I can watch it online. It's not the same, people.
It's really not. It's really not.
It's not the same. You need to be in a place where you can be encouraged by one another, hear the word, and also that somebody can check you. We had that conversation. Now, Juan, that was a good conversation. If you can't be checked, that's a problem.
That's a big red flag.
Look, and I can speak from Wanda and me on this one. If you can't be checked, you can't be our friend. You can't be our friend.
Can I get a high five on that one?
You cannot.
Look,
we do it in love and all that kind of stuff, but
we gonna give you the truth.
Can't trust you if you can't be checked. Let's just be real.
Look, and look, if you know yourself like I know me, I need to be checked on the regular.
Hello. Please and thank you. Please and thank you.
Look. Look, especially with the way the country is right now. I was telling somebody I really don't watch the news too much because it'll take me somewhere I don't need to be.
Exactly. That's important. I wanted to say that again. My God. It's the truth. Sometimes we get so engrossed in what's going on in the world, we forget who owns the world, who's in charge of the world, who created the world. Hello. Lord have mercy, help us. Yeah. So, let's get to our second point. Because see, here we go. Go ahead. Smiling while suffering. Come on. What's up with that? Smiling while suffering. Oh, we can do that well. We can do that real well, y'all.
Yeah, got that smile down pat.
Oh, yeah. Of course, what's the word? The man looketh on the outward appearance.
God.
The Lord looketh on the heart. He already knows what's going on inside. Guess what? Your sister friends do too most of the time.
Hello. If we close, yes. Right. If we know each other.
Right. You could pick it up in the spirit. You could pick them up in the spirit. And I think, again, if we would stay in the word, stay in prayer, stay connected to the Father, we could pick these things up in the spirit. It's not that we're going to always call and say, hey, what's going on? But we're praying. Someone, makes me think of years ago, I'm going to share this real quick. There was a friend of mine who was going through something. I didn't know anything about it. She was dealing with this guy, didn't know what was going on. But I had this dream. And in the dream, she was standing in the pool of blood in her shower. And I was like, what is this? And so, sometimes God won't give you the full picture until you open up your mouth and say something when he's telling you to say something. Sometimes he'll say, don't say anything and just be silent and pray. But Lord, this time, Lord's like, I'm going to open up your mouth and say something. And so I opened up my mouth and I said something. I explained to her what was happening. I told her what the Lord was saying for her to do. And not many days later after that, she was moving slow. And the Lord had to show her. And without, revealing everything, the Lord showed her that was not the one. And you need to move quickly and get out of that. And I thank God that she did, because that would have took her out of here. And now she's married to a wonderful man of God. My thing is, why delay the blessing? why would you want to smile while you're suffering?
Right.
You can smile and be really happy, right?
Like you said, delay that. See, but it goes back to what you were saying before. If we stay in the word and stay in prayer, God will reveal. He's not withholding anything. He does not desire to withhold good things from us.
Come on.
But if we refuse to have the conversation with him, if we refuse to, yeah.
That's right. We many of us, and this is not, even though we are talking to our sister friends, but this applies to men too. So we have men who listen in too. This applies to men too. They'll smile and, hey, bro, man, all that kind of stuff.
I would say it applies more so to men because they are so tight about their personal lives, right? Instead of, even though they have good friends, they don't tell everything.
Right.
At all.
That's true.
You know, it's almost like them going to the doctor. You got to, you know, pull teeth and drag them for them to go to the doctor.
You talking right.
And that's why we have so many people suffering in silence.
Yeah.
Struggling all alone.
Yeah. And I saw that Pastor Toya said sometimes you have to say something. That's right.
You have to.
You have to. And you can't be afraid.
Right.
Because guess what? That's your friend.
And don't use the excuse that I know they praying for me. You still got to say something.
Right.
You know?
Right. That's true.
Prayer is good and it's wonderful and it changes things. Sometimes you still need to open your mouth.
Right. So we're talking about the silent struggle and sanctuary continuing. And tonight is the hidden pain behind the public strength. Because a lot of times, as you have heard, we hold on to this pain and what we're going through, we don't share, and we're silent in it, and we're struggling, suffering in silence. That's not what God intended. That's not God's plan for our life. Asking for help is biblical, people of God. It's not weakness. You know, we have to ask for help.
The other thing is on the end of the receiver, would have to say, we have to set up a safe place for people.
Yes.
You can't be one of them people. I come to you today with what's going on in my life, and tomorrow my business in the street.
Right.
And do not use the excuse of saying, you know, well, it's just concern. We were concerned about you. No, y'all's talking about me. Let's be clear. Y'all's talking about me.
Right.
So we have to set up a safe place where people don't feel judgment. That's true. Right? Because we are so quick to judge people and not know the whole story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Speaking of judge, how often do we judge wellness by appearances? She looking sharp today. Look at that hat. Ooh, look at those shoes. Oh, that bag is awesome. Oh, yeah. And we judge it and feel like, oh, she's looking good. So everything must be well.
Right.
Or just because someone smile again, we're talking about that smile and say all is well. That don't mean all is well.
That's right. That's right.
Remember that too.
Or what's the phrase everybody use? I'm blessed and highly favored. Yeah, you are, but what's the problem? Because I can see something's wrong.
That's right.
And people, you know, we've been taught for so long that, you know, if you say it, that makes it become real. It's real anyway.
Right.
So you might as well get some help. Have somebody praying with you, praying for you, talking to you, talk you through it, talk you off the roof, talk you off the ledge.
Right.
Yeah, you carrying all these burdens.
That's right. So true. And, you know, in talking about the sanctuary and how we may see it as worship and service and strength and all that, but God also sees in our worship our pain, our struggles, our exhaustion, you know, all those things that we're going through. He sees our grief, our fear, our tears. He sees it. So it doesn't matter whether you don't say nothing, but God sees it all.
And even when you're speaking in tongues, every tongue ain't look, sometimes that's that anger, that's that stress, that's that pain. That's between you and the Lord, but it's still coming out.
Right. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Wow. As we said earlier, you know, what would change if we stopped believing we had to carry everything alone? What would change? A lot would change. That's something to think about. So
I might still have some hair.
Listen. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, right?
Yes, he is.
That's his word. And
thank you, God.
Know that he's close. And he said he'll never leave us nor forsake us, but he'll be
never.
Yeah.
And he meant that thing.
He meant that thing. I remember Apostle Willie Talbot ministered a teaching one time. He talked about God uses crackpots. And so I said, when he first, I said, now, man of God, now you done messed up now. Because we got some crackpots out here. And we're not talking about crackpot smoking crack. We're talking about crack. Well, maybe that too.
And
But we're
if
talking
we
about
honest, we all a
we
crackpot.
all are crackpots.
We all need to get back on the wheel.
Back on Jeremiah.
On the potter's wheel.
Potter's wheel. Yes, God. Yes, God. It's the truth. We have to remember that we are flesh, yet still.
Hello. And until we get to heaven, we still gonna be dealing with sin. We're not saved from the present yet.
Yes. And we need each other. And I have to say I feel blessed that there's so many sister friends that we have in our circle that really have been just so even I can feel it welling up even now just thinking about it. Everybody don't have what we have, Wanda, and I'm aware of that, and I understand that. So we have to, like you said earlier, we have to be careful that we don't judge other people when they are struggling silently, when they are going through silence, because they may not have that,
Exactly.
person, or those people, because there are people I know even now that don't have family that lives around them, or they feel secluded. But then sometimes it's a trick of the enemy as well to make us feel that way.
Exactly.
God has somebody for everybody, but we have to open ourselves up too, as well, to allow people to be a blessing to us and speak into our lives and help us and encourage us and sow into us, all those things. Yeah. Oof. I'm grateful. I really am grateful.
You and me both.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me back to what we were saying earlier about that picture. I'm grateful my sister friends were there.
Yeah, we have
and
to
those are my sister friends.
We have to post some more pictures. We want to encourage you to post some pictures of you and your sister friends. And if they're not a part of this sister friend podcast, you post them so we can see. We want to see the laughs and the smiles. That's encouraging when I see others laughing and smiling and enjoying themselves. So definitely post. We want to see it. And do you hear echo? Was it just on my end? Must be just on my end. Okay. So I just want to make sure before we move on. So the other point we want to mention tonight, we may not get to all our points. We definitely want to get to this one. The sanctuary should be a place of healing. I'm just saying. The sanctuary should be a place of healing. But many times we find the sanctuary being a place of, and this is not everywhere, it may not be your house, it may not be my house, but it's somebody's house. A place of gossip, a place of judgment, a place of isolation. And that's not what God wanted. That's not God's desire for his sanctuary. But also a sanctuary is not just a church, so don't get it twisted. Don't automatically assume it's the local church where you belong. But you're a sanctuary. You're supposed to be a sanctuary.
You're supposed to be.
For your household and for somebody else. Because I think about those who are, let me just go to the married folks for a second. If you are married, you should be a sanctuary for your spouse. No one should know what's going on with your spouse that could tear them down because you said it.
That's right.
You're supposed. Now, I'm not saying, we hide lies and sin and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. But you should still, yet even in that, be a sanctuary to a certain point where your household is not torn down. You may have children. You don't want to tear your children down because of something you're going through with your spouse.
Right.
So we have to be careful of that. And
that doesn't mean put yourself in danger, ladies. Let's use wisdom.
Pastor said, don't say it. Oh my God. The sanctuary should be a place of healing. That's right. We don't have to suffer in the sanctuary. We shouldn't have to suffer in the sanctuary, right? So we have to make sure. Go ahead.
While we're dealing with the sanctuary, because often we've heard church hurt. Some of us have used it too, right? And it's not the church that has hurt you; it's somebody in the church has hurt you.
Right.
And we take that to mean that all churches hurt people, and that's not the case. It's not even the church you were hurt at that is the case. It's that person. And again, because you don't know the struggles they're going through, or you might have taken it, personal when it wasn't meant personal at all.
Right.
But did you sit down and talk with that person? Did you have a conversation with them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you pray about it?
Right.
You know, we just so quick. That's part of that, so quick to judge.
Mm-hmm.
So now all churches ain't worth anything because there's people like them in the church.
Right.
Well, there's people like that on your job, but you go every day to collect that paycheck. Right? But I'm
right.
you know, so salvation in heaven ain't worth it. I mean,
right.
help me understand.
Yeah. Because we can't be a sanctuary if we can't deal with those things. Because, you know, as we all able ministers, right? And we all should be the minister to somebody and encourage them. And in spite of what we're going through, we still have to remember that God has called us to a higher call. He called us to witness to others. He called us to go into hedges and highways and compel them to come. But how can we compel them to come if we can't go through anything? If we wear our emotions on our sleeves at all times, right? If we can't say to our neighbor, be kind to our neighbor. We mad at our neighbor because their ball came in our yard. Come on, people of God. How can we be a witness? Because we about to cuss out our neighbor. We shouldn't be cussing anyway.
And I got one of them neighbors that Lord knows they make me pray.
Girl.
But child, I've got to keep it together.
Right.
Because I'm still a witness. Even when I go outside and they see me, I still got to say, hey, how you doing?
Right. I
might want to say, clean up your garbage that's all in my yard. But hey, how you doing? I still got to show them some love.
Right. We can work this out without being mean.
Hello. We really can. Yeah. We really can.
Wow. So we have to, so that healing is connected to our honesty, right? To be honest with ourselves, honest with God, because he already know anyway. Might as well go and tell him the truth. He already knows anyway. We have to be honest with him, with ourselves, with our sister friends. We have to be honest in prayer. Sometimes we can't talk it out, but to pray it out. Look, sing it out, groan it out, moan it out, tongue it out, something, get it out, scream it out,
rock it out. Whatever you got to do.
Right.
Don't hold that stuff inside.
We cannot. We have to remember that women need places where they can speak honestly without shame.
Without shame.
Without that judgment, without pointing fingers, without looking at them sideways and all that stuff. So we have to keep all these things in mind.
We have to remember that we were once not saved too. Our clothes wasn't always the way they supposed to be. Our attitudes was definitely not what they were supposed to be.
Say that again. Like, I'm trying to understand why we act like the world's not the world.
Sinners ain't supposed to sin.
They're not gonna look like us. They don't care. They don't care about your opinion. They really don't. And so if we always fussing and looking at them like, got always something to say about them, but not telling them about Jesus who can change them. Who are we? We're worse. We're worse than they are. The Bible talks about confessing our faults one to another. We do
one to another.
So if we can't confess our faults to the one who say they already know the Lord, to each other, to our sister friends in Christ, so then that we do that so we can be healed, so we can be changed, so we can be held accountable, so we can do better. But if we can't feel we can't share with each other, then what's the point? Yeah. So we have a lot of work to do, y'all. So what prevents people from being honest in church spaces? What prevents people from being honest in church spaces? I'm just wondering if anybody want to put an answer to that in the comment. What prevents people from being honest?
Trying to hold ourselves back on that one.
In church spaces. There is an answer to that. A word from the Lord on that. But it's true. People, they hold back. I think about sometimes, you ever been in a meeting, church meeting, or even in Bible class, and the teacher or the pastor ever asks a question, and it's like, oh, you can't even hear crickets, or all you can hear is crickets. And it's like, Nobody want to answer that? They want to answer it, but one, they could be afraid of repercussions, that
Diane
backlash.
said fear of judgment.
Right. So, yeah. Look.
That is definitely one.
Yeah, fear of judgment. Yeah.
It's also shame. Some folks are still have not been delivered enough where they don't walk in that shame anymore.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do, people of God. We do. There's a scripture that says, and I can't think of where it is right now, but I have in our notes, weep with them that weep.
Mourn with them that mourn.
Yeah. And, a lot of times we have friends that are going through things. And, especially when we're going to have another, we talked about grief a little bit, one of our segments, but we're going to have that conversation again. We were talking about that today, because a lot of times people are grieving. We seem to forget that we're human. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, if something was to happen to, someone that I love and is close to, I'm going to have a moment, y'all. And it's going to be all right.
A few moments.
Right.
And my moment's going to last for a while.
I'm going to celebrate, especially when they know the Lord. I'm going to celebrate their life, trust, and believe. But let me tell you, now I'm not going to act a fool, because some people do that. Now, people who trying to jump in the grave and all that stuff, I'm a believer in pushing folks over in there and see if they really want to be in there. I'm so serious. I'm so serious.
You get tired of watching folks act up.
Because then you have to ask, what is that about? What is that about? We have to check ourselves, And again, who is that helping? It's not helping your witness.
All right.
So we have, again, here we are. We have to think about those things. We have to be able to help each other in their weakness, right? As well. So we're gonna stop here because we're running out of time. And oh my God.
That's what she said, Candy. She said push them.
Yeah. That's me. Yeah, I'll be that person.
I feel like it sometimes.
Oh yeah, I had that conversation with some.
Look, when they crying all over the casket, why them take me and push them in there too? Close the casket.
Yeah.
You want to be with them that bad? Just close it.
Right. Because we have to check ourselves. Ask yourself, what is that about?
Did you show them that much love and attention when they was alive?
When they was alive. Because sometimes people get confused and think that is the way people will know that they really love that person. It's the opposite. So I'm just trying to help y'all. Just trying to help you. We love you. Just trying to help you. That's it. So thank y'all for joining us. We do want you to consider putting some of those answers in throughout the week. You may not think of anything right now, but just go back to some of the questions that we asked. Like one was, what would change if we stopped believing we had to carry everything alone? That could be something you could answer throughout the week. Or do you feel pressured to always appear strong? Right? That's another one. And then also, how often do we judge wellness by appearance? The outer appearance. We always look at people and if they look sharp, they must be good. So
if they walk confidently.
Yeah.
Everything's well.
Right. So think about those things. Listen to the broadcast again. We're going to be picking up on our next broadcast. We'll talk about, this one's good too, the strong friend needs support too. We're also going to talk about faith and mental and emotional wellness can coexist.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about God sees the silent struggle. We'll talk about that, and we'll close out with a few other things as well. But we want you to continue to stick with us on this series. It's a good series. We're excited about it because we know people are struggling, and we want to be the answer, be the solution, not adding on to the problem. We can do that with you together, because as we always say, we don't have all the answers. We don't know everything, but because of you, all of our sister friends, we thank God for you. We know that you are helping us through your comments. So Continue to comment, continue to I love what you guys are saying. I feel the pressure towards Even those with titles. How about that? That's a whole nother conversation. We had that when we had a piece of that conversation with I think it was with Reverend Natasha, and who else was on that one? I think Sister Rosalind and Lady Rosalind and Sister Lascano, a few others. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that pressure when you have titles and whatever that title may be. It's not always titles in the church either. So,
Hello.
Yeah. So my sister friend, you want to close us out?
Listen, y'all, please write in the comments. If you have questions about it, or if something we didn't go over that you want to talk about, put it in there as well. And as we always say, the conversation doesn't have to end with us. Keep writing, keep typing. We'll check in. Hopefully others will check in as well. We can respond to what this is how we help one another. This is how we are a sister friend. You don't have to wait for us to start the conversation or end the conversation. Keep it going on amongst yourselves. We'll chime in as well. So, sister friend,
hey,
can we talk about it?
Sister friend, let's continue to talk about it.
Good night, everyone.
One another, talking about issues that we're all facing, good, bad, indifferent. Let's talk about it from one sister to another. Let's talk about it.